So last week I was expecting this book to be our main topic of discussion. Then we were pleasantly surprised by the release of The Wonders of the Multiverse Unearthed Arcana, which gave me some time to really sit down and digest this book. And I know this might be controversial, but I think that this is my favorite first-party adventure so far. Hi, I'm John from Incendium D&D, and today we're going to be reviewing Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel is what I think has been one of the most useful books that Wizards of the Coast has published so far. It's part setting guide, part adventure anthology, and part structural guide for running a specific type of game at your table. A type of which I've been using to run my games for the past 2 years. The Radiant Citadel is what project lead Ajit George would call a fragile utopia in the deep ethereal. And it's a hub world that connects a lot of diverse cultures and civilizations. Like previous adventure anthologies, the Citadel acts as a kind of launching point for all of the other adventures in the anthology. However, in my opinion, unlike the briny town of Salt Marsh or the giant library of Candlekeep, the Citadel is fleshed out a little bit more in that it can spawn adventures and campaigns in that setting alone. It has multiple factions with overlapping interests and conflicts, as well as a looming environmental threat in the form of the Keening Gloom. And because it's extraplanar by nature, it makes it easy to import in any established or custom setting that you're already running. And personally, this is how I tend to run my games now, through an established hub world that links to the adventure of each session.
All right, who's not dead? Sound off.
Yeah, Ian, this is just gonna get dark, I guess. We're gonna have a light go all over the place. But the setting info doesn't stop there. Having run adventures out of the other 3 anthologies, Radiant Citadel goes a step further and provides both a gazetteer and cultural description for the setting of each of its 13 adventures. So not only are you getting setting information on the hub world, you're also getting setting information on a diverse sampling of cultures we haven't yet seen in 5th edition D&D. For a DM looking to dive into world building, I actually find this both a better source of inspiration and a better template to some of the official source books we've gotten, like Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide and Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. There is a passion and a respect in this product that, dare I say, radiates through its text and artwork. The adventures themselves are well written and range from straightforward combat to complex negotiations. Some plots are as mundane as investigating the sabotage between 2 rival market vendors, to being as weird and strange as exploring the body of a dead god in the Far Realm. This book also lacks appendices. Instead, all of the relevant monster stat blocks or magic item descriptions are included in the adventure. I know some DMs really prefer the appendix format, but having run adventures like this out of the book at the table, I find that this new format is actually a lot more helpful. Just all the content is organized in a way that makes it easily accessible. Beyond just the structure and the content of this book, I do think that it's important to highlight that this book is inherently political, way more so than any other product 5th edition has released so far. And I don't mean political like politically complex or court intrigue like, although that is a possibility. I mean that this book touches upon real-world political topics, like cultural appropriation, universal basic income, and economic class struggles. Early on in this product's marketing, Ajit George mentioned in an interview with Todd Kenrick that this book was mainly written by brown and black authors that were fusing their own real-world cultural experiences with the fantasies of D&D. As such, you'll find adventures inspired by mythologies from South America, Asia, Africa, and more. And as such, there's some soft guidance on how to run those adventures respectfully. Now, I've already seen too many quote-unquote anti-woke commenters judge this book on that aspect alone. To me, that makes its inclusion in 5th edition's canon that much more important, but I don't want to get stuck on the negative reaction of a vocal minority. Instead, I want to focus on this book's overarching motif. Ajit George mentioned in that same interview that the genre of this book is hope punk, which in a lot of ways is in a response to the real world darkness and anger that our society has gone through over the past 2 years. And we've even seen this in 5th edition's product line. Everything from Curse of Strahd to Descent into Avernus to Rime of the Frostmaiden. We've gotten lots of dark, horrifying content. And there is something to be said about finding meaningfulness in a game narrative by defying horrifying situations and overcoming huge challenges and obstacles. But if that's all you play, that game, that fight can be really tiring. And instead, Hope Punk is all about seeing what you're fighting for rather than focusing on what you're fighting against. Yes, it sounds idealistic. Yes, it sounds utopian. And this is literally a fantasy. There's still conflict, there's still tension, there's still fighting, but the tone isn't pessimistic or even really realistic. And I think there's a kind of beauty to that. Instead, it uses the power of magic and fantasy to focus on the heart of humanity, love. And it's apparent in the text. This book is overflowing with passion and love. It offers a new perspective to D&D that frankly I don't think should be new. It's about time. Should you buy it? Yeah, I think you should. Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel is a fun, passion-filled project with some thought-provoking content that can lead to some meaningful gameplay. I think TTRPGs are one of the best ways that two individuals can really connect and understand each other, and the execution of this product is top-notch. It serves as a way for us to find a way to love each other just a little bit more. Do you like Radiant Citadel? Do you have a favorite adventure out of the anthology? If you like this content, make sure to let YouTube know, hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and have an awesome day, everybody. Bye-bye now.